morning, everyone. Welcome to our February the 3rd regular council meeting. The good news is we don't have a groundhog here in Rocky, but there was no shadow from the squirrel eating at my bird feeder, so I guess spring's on the way. The town of Rocky Mountain House wishes to acknowledge that the land we are gathered on is Treaty 6 territory and a traditional meeting ground and home for many Indigenous people, including Blackfoot, Cree, Saulteaux, Stoney, and Métis. Next project is the adoption of the agenda 3.1. Is there any additions or deletions to the agenda? Seeing none, would someone make a motion, please?
I move we adopt the agenda as presented.
Thank you. All in favor? And that is carried. Thank you very much. We have no delegations today. Previous minutes, they were sent to us. Everybody had a chance to read them. Anything we need to discuss for minutes? Seeing none, would someone make a motion, please? Councillor Sinclair?
I'll make a motion that we adopt the previous minutes.
Thank you very much. All in favor? And that is carried. Thank you. No delegations today, so old business 7.1 service level meeting. Mr. Kraus.
Yep, thank you, Mayor. So probably just starting off with a bit of procedural matter. So this is a notice of motion from Councillor Stalker. So that motion is on the table, but the motion is referring to the 2025 service level. So council would be debating something that's already passed. So just a recommendation that council amends that motion to remove 2025, which would make it relevant to the debate.
Okay. Councillor Cahill.
Make a motion to move that to 2026 instead of 2025.
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? And that is carried. Thank you. Mr. Kraus.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Sorry about that, just procedural, but.
Yeah, no, it has to be done.
Councillor Stalker put forward a notice of motion that for consideration of the service level to be in public and live streamed. So administration prepared a report that provides options to council because it is council's discretion. So in just defining what the service level meeting is, it's really just a workshop that explores initiatives and alternative methods in setting services where council and staff being in closed session can have open dialogue and so forth. So, but it is, and where that is allowed is through the MGA and the agreement or the Act for Information. So under that Act, there are some mandatory items that have to be in closed session. Primarily, that's the interest of a business, third-party business, or personal privacy, so like it relates to an individual. The rest are all discretionary of council, and council can have it in closed session or open session. And really on the service level idea is the advice from officials that falls within the Access to Information Act, where councils can deliberate and create policy and for in private. So that's where it falls into, but council does not have to have those discussions in closed session. So council really has three options in moving forward. One is to keep it status quo where the service level is in closed session under the Access to Information Act, basically advice from officials section. Or council can actually have the service level in open session, and that would be more like a GPC meeting and be more formalized where we would have an agenda. Administration would present a topic and council would discuss, and then motions are made. And of course, the third option, council doesn't have to have the service level review. So with that quick overview, I'll leave it for council to discuss and debate.
Thank you. Councillor Stalker, it was you that brought this forward, so would you like to comment?
Yeah, I've done quite a bit of, thank you, Mayor Boniface. I've done quite a bit of research on and of course, as pointed out, I had never been in a service level review, and that there is the option of, it was pointed out at the time that, give that a try, and maybe we'll try the other side of having an open. I spoke with some folks over at Banff who have their service level review as an open forum. They allow the public to attend, but during that meeting, the public doesn't have any say. The next morning, after they have discussed whatever those topics are of the day, the public is given a half an hour to give feedback on the previous day's meeting. And what struck me as we went through the service level review and I brought the binder back is that I think there's great benefit to have the discussions that can be had in public, because there were certainly discussions that need to be, about development, about different things. I have the list here, but one of the things that really struck me that was lost about how good the town staff are and how well they do their job, as they provided us information, we were the only ones that were able to see that. And I think there's great benefit to the folks in town that are watching a meeting, if it is open to the public, that they can go, wow, those people are on their game, whether that's about road repair or about a new facilities or old facilities. So that really struck me. The one that I think also, as we went through the service level review, we talked about the Lochern Park development, and it would probably be it would probably be surprising to public that knew where I stood during the election on it, that I agreed that that actually was the best piece of land we have to develop. And that discussion that happened around the development of that land, there's a whole bunch of other things that came into play that I wouldn't support the development of that land, but that was all dealt with behind the scenes. And I understand that the public, they nitpick pieces of our discussions out of it and that. But I did notice on Voice Your Opinion the other day, there was some folks on there talking about our need for land development and our move forward on the north end. And that discussion about Lochern would have given them great insight about what we're trying to accomplish by getting residential land ready. So I think there's no doubt, and I knew that going in, that there would be things that have to be done in closed session. But, I look at discussion around the police study and the review, the business recognition program. There was lots of great feedback given to us and information given us by town staff about what's going on with that program and how that program fits into what we're trying to do. The public engagement policy, those kind of discussions, I think, show the strength of our town staff. I think they show the consistency with what the council is trying to just not make a decision. We're trying to actually make the right decisions, and that, going back to Lochern, it was a robust discussion in my recollection at the very least, and I think it would have been beneficial. I do appreciate Mr. Krause's position that after we got done the service level review, we actually tried to close the link or close the loop and put out information about things that were on the agenda, so to speak, but didn't go forward. It didn't cover the conversation. So that's where I was coming at with this.
Councillor Boniface.
So would it be helpful to have another alternative that we could do the public session and then close like we do on a day like today, like we all discuss in public? And then, because I can see how we would be restricted in some of our comments on the service level things as we're kind of evaluating what's happening in some of the service things that we want to remove. Might be kind of personal information or something like that. So if there's any way we could do a combination of the two.
Mr. Kraus?
Yes, that's an option for council. So the way that would work is we would actually draft up an agenda. Any topics that could be in open session would go in the open session, and any topics that are required under the Access to Information Act would go into closed session. So we'd develop an agenda based on that. It'd be like a GPC meeting, basically.
Do we have any idea how our survey is going? Have we had a good response?
Very good response. The exact number, Mr. Plant?
383.
Wow,
It's closed now.
it's closed now?
You'll see the results at GPC next week.
Yeah. Okay. Counselor Shipple.
Thank you, Mayor Boniface. So I think one thing we have to understand is that service level review, or whatever we call it, we do not make motions to accept anything. We talk about functions and what's going forward. Anything that we understand is going to happen has to come before council, which is here today, gets aired. So airing it twice or airing it once is the question, I think. And I'm concerned about if we do it where it is on open, like on YouTube or whatever, it will restrict conversations that we have. And we'll have to be careful not to go over the boundaries here and there and all over the place, because our conversation, I mean, it's fairly robust and it goes all over the place. And so I really feel that what's happened is that we've got hung up on the name versus the process. I think the process is good. I would hate to see us lose that process over the years that I've been here. I think it really gives us the ability to understand where the town is at. As elected officials, we're the ones making the decisions at the end of the day. And we have to make them for the best of the community. And those are done at a council level. And so I really think that what we need to do is change the name from Service Level Review, and I appreciate the fact you've included a name in here where it's called Strategy and Priority Review Workshop, because it really is a workshop. We are all talking about what we want. It's not a meeting as per se, it's more of a workshop. So where I'm at on this is I would like to retain the format, change the name, and continue on that process that way.
Okay, thank you. Counselor Stalker.
Thank you, Mayor Boniface. It may be surprising, but I am in agreement after, I think what CAO Kraus had done to follow up after the fact for the public to say, hey, these are the kind of things that came up that aren't moving forward. I think if there's other questions related to that, they can be taken up and formally addressed if the public are concerned about something didn't move forward that they thought should have, or vice versa. But I'm actually in support of where you're coming at this from, Councillor Shipley.
Thank you. Any comments from anyone else? I agree with Councillor Shipple. I'd like to see it renamed to the Strategy and Priority Review Workshop and keep it the way we do right now, where it's kind of informal with just all of us and admin working through ideas, and gives us the freedom to be a little more open, not so camera shy maybe. So that's my thought. So if there's no further discussion, Councillor Shipple.
So I will move, let it be resolved that we change the name to the Strategy and Priority Review Workshop, and that we maintain the same format as we had. Does that make sense?
It does, but you'd be doing an amending motion because there's already a motion on the table. So that the motion that be it resolved that council hold the 2026 service level review in an open session for public. I guess you would defeat that one first and then do your second motion.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So I'll let you, we got a motion on the floor, so we have to defeat that.
Okay, so does everybody understand the motion? Or can we have it read back out, please? Go ahead, Counselor.
Thank you, Mayor. I just like it explained clearly so we know exactly what we're getting when we vote either
Okay.
for or against this.
Thank you.
please.
Mr. Kraus.
Okay, so the motion that's on the table is that be it resolved that council hold the 2026 service level review in an open session for the public and the sessions be broadcast live for the public.
Okay.
So that's what's on there.
That's the motion on the table. So, okay. So, all in favor? All opposed? And that is carried. Thank you. Now, Counselor Schiffel, could you remake your motion? Do we need to remake it? Oh, I'm sorry, that is defeated. Thank you. That's a new one. Haven't had to do that one.
Okay, so I think it's, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the motion is, that it resolved the council holds an annual closed strategy and priority review workshop prior to the budget meeting.
Okay. Great. Any discussion? All in favor? And that is carried. Thank you very much. Okay. Next bit is new business and 8.1, town-owned lot. Mr. Kraus. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, no
Mr.
worries.
Schwader.
No, it's all good. Good morning, Mayor and Council. Just before Council today in regards to a town-owned lot that we got from a tax recovery program. This was brought up at the service level review in 2025. It was being brought forward to a meeting in 2026. The lot is assessed at $41,000. It's located on Main Street, the fourth block, south of the bowling alley. Hopefully that gives you the bearings. And just before council, as far as how we want to, I guess, unload this lot in regards to whether we want to sell it or work on it in regards to a park. There's some options there in my report. I'm just looking for direction.
Counselor Schiffelt.
Thank you, Mayor Boniface. Thank you for the report. I'm going to suggest that we push this forward to the, whatever we're going to call our service level review meeting now,
Strategy planning.
strategy planning meeting in the fall. I think that it sat there empty this long. I have a fear is that if we go to sell it, we're dictating what the lot prices are. And so I think we need to put some thought processes into the plan. And so what I'd like to do is just table this to our strategy meeting in the fall prior to the budget meetings. There'll be monies involved in it, and just leave it status quo for now. My thoughts only.
Counselor Stalker.
Thank you, Mayor Boniface. I had one question, and the real estate fees that are coming out of that $41,000 assessment, do we know what that value?
It's 4% is what we do presently with our highway commercial lot out on 52nd, or Highway 598.
$1,600 then, or thereabouts?
I'm sorry?
$1,600 or thereabouts?
Yeah, 4%, sure.
Excellent,
Yeah.
thank you.
Any thoughts or comments? Seeing none, go ahead, Counselor Stalker.
Thank you, Mayor Boniface. I just wanted to ask council what, at this point, we own the land. And if somebody is coming forward and says, look, the land to the south of it is available, and they're interested in developing, do we still have the, and this may be for administration, do we still have the flexibility to move forward if they say, look, I want both those parcels and not have to wait if somebody wanted to develop it?
Mr. Gross.
Yeah, no, so if someone came forward with an offer, we'd bring that to council and council would consider an offer on it.
Okay, then. So Counselor Schiffelt.
I'd make the motion. I guess where I look at all the alternatives include money, paving, doing stuff. And to me, that's a budget item, and our budget is done. So we just push it forward to the strategy meeting in the fall. And if that's the case, then I think I would make that motion, let it be resolved that we push this subject forward to the strategy meeting in the fall to discuss it as to a go-forward plan with the land and any monies that should be attached to the project at that point in time.
Thank you. Is there any discussion on the motion on the floor? Seeing none, I will call that to a vote. All in favor? And that is carried. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Sweeter. The next is 8.2 residential subclass.
Thank you, Mayor. So this topic is for council wants to consider doing a residential subclass primarily based on the service level provided to different residential properties. In the past, I mean, council has seen the past report where we provided the history of the Nut subdivision, the planning implications, evaluating if you try to equate taxes to services and what that looks like. But council's real question was, what does a 2% reduction in that class look like? So we did seek legal counsel on this for the creation of a subclass, and we have to tie it to a characteristic of a property, just not an area, for example. So that characteristic was if they were serviced with water and sewer. So based on that premise, Ms. Quinlan identified all the residential properties within the town that are not serviced with water and sewer and evaluated it from there. And I will let her explain what that looks like. Thanks.
Good morning, Mayor and Council. So when I did the analysis, we identified excuse me, that there were 61 properties that basically weren't on our utility water and sewer line. So that's what we used to classify those properties. I included, you know, sort of just several, I guess, facts or things trying to identify what this resulted in. So there was 61 properties. Their total assessed value comes out to $32 million. 12.6 for land and almost 20 for buildings. That represents about 6% of our single-family class, or single-family home class. The entire single-family home class comes in at $558 million. So just some, I guess, background information, which contains 1,700 properties. The average property value for those 61 properties ends up being at $517,000 with an average tax, which is just the town portion, not schools and requisitions, of $4,600. The total taxes that we collect from this group is $281,000, and a 2% mill rate reduction on these properties would remove approximately $64,000, so 0.64 of a mill rate off of their tax class. The average reduction would be when just slightly over $1,000. It does range depending on the size of the properties. We have one that's really, really large, and then there's several that are smaller. If you take that reduction and apply it throughout because basically if we reduce $64,000 off of this class, all the other properties in town will have to pick up the difference, right? So it would change your 2026 tax increase from 2.87 to 3.6. The impact, it does spread itself out. The impact, I tried to look at the different classes. So single-family homes or residential would see basically a $15 increase. Small business would see a $55, and large would see $147. if you just restricted this just to residential, because we do try to weigh the residential versus commercial, it would increase residential by 3.9 from last year's taxes. And it would increase an average residential property by about $25 $25 over and above what we're already doing for 2026. So that, I guess in a nutshell, is, what I found. The increase or the decreases range, I'm just trying to look, the highest one was $2,400, and the lowest one was $290. So that was, there was basically only a $32,000 property building on that property. So the range is, quite extreme, but most of them are running in around that $1,000 mark. That's a 2% reduction is what they would see on their taxes.
Councillor Shipple.
Thank you, Mayor Boniface. I have brought this forward before and it's been defeated ×2. And the people in the McNutt have went to the county looking for possibly getting annexed back into the county. There's not only McNutt, there's 61 properties. McNutt is like over 40, I believe, of that, 61. It is council's authority to create subclasses as it sees appropriate. So that is our authority to do that. In this case, Ms. Quinlan has indicated water and sewer. I'd go further and say water, sewer, curb, and gutter in those areas. And the other thing is we've got our budget set for this year. And so although we're talking about at this point, I would move this, if we do approve it, I would move this forward to the next tax year so we don't have to make any adjustments for this year. So for the 2027 tax year. So I think that we should move forward and do something. When we had our Assessment 101 course that we took online, the assessor that spoke answered his question directly to this and said that there is a difference in values if there's no street curb gutter. And so that speaks to this, spoke to McNutt. So I think in this case, I feel, and I'm sure everybody else feels, that there is a significant difference in the community if you don't have water, sewer, curb and gutter. And so I would be in favor of moving forward to creating a subclass with the indicator being water, sewer, curb and gutter for 2027 budget. Can we do that, Mr. Kraus? Can we move it ahead that far? That resolves all the issues of having to monkey with it now when Ms. Quinlan does the budget for next year. Then that would come into play.
Thank you. Any discussion on this, please? Councillor Musker.
Thank you, Mayor. Spent a lot of time with this. I just want to start by thanking administration for this report. It's huge. There's a lot of great information here. It answered virtually all of my questions.
Yeah.
I don't have to bring a lot of questions here, but just some comments that I'd like to make, establishing my position on it. First of all, I would prefer to keep the system that we have now where arm's length third-party property assessors value the land and improvements according to established parameters recognized province-wide, and assessors take into consideration things like access to services when establishing land value. Creating a subclass needlessly politicizes the property tax process in Rocky Mountain House and might even affect or call into question the integrity of this council, and I'm not willing to do that. Throughout the report as well, it is assumed that a property tax subclass would result in a reduction of property tax revenue from the subclass, when in fact that is not guaranteed. If the property tax subclass is established, there is nothing to prevent a future council from assigning a higher mill rate to the subclass. In fact, it could be argued that a higher mill rate would be warranted.
Thank you. Good food for thought. Counselor Stalker.
Again, want to thank administration for how thorough this document is. Covers all the bases, and again, just had an opinion, not many questions. I think the crux is what you had, Councillor Shipple had said. There's a difference in value, and that value is brought forward, as Councillor Mosca said, by the assessor. The assessor's gone in there, assessed those properties, the mill rate's being applied. They don't have those things, the water, sewer, curb, and gutter, therefore their value is being assessed less, would be my opinion, that they're being assessed less, therefore they're already reflecting, it's already reflected the savings, and I don't believe we need to bring a second mill rate in. The second part of that is, I think it opens up the discussion to all sorts of different places, and whether within our community that might not have a certain service. And I think that one is one that we have to be cognizant of. One of the things that I highlighted in the document was that the common good of the community. So they may feel as if they have paid a little more, but I would say their value has been assessed lower, and I think that if we leave it the way it is, I think that's best for the whole good of the community.
Thank you. Counselor Shippold.
Thank you. I guess what I'm looking for is fairness. At the end of the day, I just want to be fair, and I think if we use a blanket form doesn't always work. And so could it create other concerns? We have subclasses now. I think we have 5 subclasses that we work with. This would be just another subclass. So if we're so fearful of subclasses, then we shouldn't have subclasses altogether. In this case, this is just another subclass, and I think it's significant in terms of doing that. I think those folks are looking for that, and I think it's only fair that we do that. So yes, it could be argued that the mill rate could be changed down the road, for sure, but we change mill rates all the time. I mean, that's sort of where we're at. That is council's decision. I still move forward with promoting a subclass for residences that don't have water, sewer, curb, and gutter.
Thank you. Counselor Boniface.
Thank you, Mayor. Doesn't the assessor already take that into consideration when they're assessing our properties? So that it's kind of a level field anyways.
Mr. Cross, would you know the answer to that?
Yeah, and I think the deputy mayor actually answered that already, that when in the assessment 101 course, I didn't see that course, that the lack of services affects the assessed value of the property. So would it be a reduced assessment on those properties because of the lesser services provided, the water and sewer? And if you go back in the report, I mean, I think we even analyzed that where if you break it down on the land value or the assessment of the land value, the residents in McNutt pay 18 cents per square meter of property taxes, where you take a service lot that we provide an example for that was built at the same time, they pay $1.58 per square meter of property tax. So that's the adjustment.
Okay, thank you. Councilor Muska.
Thank you, Mayor. One more thought has come to mind too. By lowering the mill rate, it's not just the land that is being taxed at a lower rate, it's also the improvements. And so the argument could be made, why would a double car garage on one of these lots be taxed at a lower rate than a double car garage on a residential lot in the rest of town? The assessor deals with the land value and the improvements, but just lowering the mill rate lowers it for the improvements as well. So for me, that's a problem.
Okay, thank you. Councilor Shippold.
So I thank you Mayor Boniface, so to Mr. Quinlan, a question on page 38 or whatever it is, it talks about land value, so to Mr. Krause's point where he starts rating how much it costs on a per hectare. So you have the lot size in McNutt sample area at 8,093 meters squared, or 2 acres. And then right beneath that, you have the lot size in a residential area at 505 meters squared. So what that breaks down to is in a McNutt lot size, you could have 16 residential lots. I don't think you can get 16 lots on 2 acres. The typical is 5. So I think if all the numbers in this form relate back to this, and if my calculation is right, someplace there's a, so to your point where you start talking that, I think, have I lost you? So we're,
Actually, I think Mr. Kraus will probably have to respond to that, because that's his
so
calculation.
it just doesn't make sense that there'd be 16 lots on 2 acres according to this.
No, and that doesn't relate back to how many lots could go on 2 acres. That's just taking the assessed value of the existing lots and doing a comparison. So for 2 acres, the assessment, the average assessment for those McNutt lots, for the land only was 168,680, where the assessed value of a typical residential lot was 92,473, even though it is quite a bit smaller.
Numbers don't make sense. McNutt lot is 8,000 square feet. Residential lot is 5,000 in town. That's the equivalent of 16 lots. So you're talking 8 lots per acre. I've yet to see more than 5 lots per acre. So I just don't know how that calculation,
I don't know, I'm not sure how you're figuring that,
Okay,
actually,
so it's-
Deputy Mayor, so.
you're talking, let me back this up. 2 acres of land that a McNutt house sits on is 8,000 square meters. A house in town, you have here sitting on 505 or 500 square meters. If you took that lot size and put it into McNutt, you'd be the equivalent of 16 houses on a 2-acre parcel. You can't get 16 houses on a 2-acre parcel. Something is wrong with these numbers in this thing.
That's, okay, I'm not sure how you're trying to, because we're not trying to fit lots in, we're just
Where I'm
talking-
going back is the numbers you just quoted at
Yeah.
a per square foot price. When I look at the calculations, I'm sure this is on a spreadsheet with these numbers, because on the next page it talks about the square footage costs. And when I look at these numbers, they don't make sense. You can't get 16 houses on 2 acres.
We're not trying to establish that. So what it is,
What you're trying to establish is a cost per lot. That's the number you just referred to when you said, here's what it costs in
Yeah, and I think
McNutt, and
that's
here's
the-
what it costs
yeah.
in a residential lot.
and I think that's part of the difficulty, we're trying to take taxes and trying to align it with services or sizes and whatever, where it's just assessed value. So this is just a breakdown.
Numbers don't work. These numbers don't work. You can't get 16 houses on a McNutt lot on 2 acres.
We're not, I don't want to debate you, Deputy Mayor,
I
but.
want you to debate me because I want to know
but
where
we're
I'm
not
going
That's
wrong.
not the comparison. The comparison here is the assessed value with a lot with all the services, even though we're smaller, is quite a bit higher than the assessed value of a lot on a per square meter basis, for example, of a property that does not have all the services.
This section is called the land value and taxes paid.
Yeah.
The numbers just don't work for me. I'm sorry. I want you to debate me because I want to know where I'm going
Well,
wrong.
I think we're looking at it from two different viewpoints of what we're trying to establish. So this-
I think you have the density too high at the $500 per square foot. So when you use a calculation to figure out what it costs for the services on that lot, the number is going to be skewed.
So basically the calculation, and this is just an example, like, and this is the problem of trying to relate taxes to services and stuff. So,
Well, you just did that earlier.
well, but we're talking the assessed value, right? So the smaller lot with all of the services has a higher per square meter assessed value than a lot that does not. And that's all this is trying to establish. So in other words, the assessor has taken into consideration the land value and the services.
That makes sense. Your numbers earlier don't to that philosophy.
Well, I'm not seeing it, but
Yeah.
I apologize, so.
Sorry. If on a spreadsheet you use these numbers, the numbers will not be what you've indicated. I just, maybe they are. Maybe I'm totally out to lunch. I don't think I am. Because according to this calculation, you're putting 16 residences on the same amount of land, 500 acres, 500 square meters. Something that doesn't make sense.
Councillor Stocker.
Thank you, Mayor Boniface. I understand exactly where you're coming from, but I do have a question around, can you put 8 houses on 2 acres?
Yes.
I would say you could. So even if we take the numbers that are here and approach it the way you're approaching, because I understand exactly what we're doing here on the 2 meters. If we take it and we say, okay, we're only gonna put 8 houses, we're still looking at 18 cents compared to $1.58 divided is almost 80 cents. We're looking at 18 cents to 80 cents, or conversely up above $91 per meter for in-town, the comparison in-town compared to out. So I think there's quite a bit of leeway that the folks in McNutt are getting the benefit of having larger lots for a lot, no pun intended, a lot, less, they're getting better value for the amount of land they have, which is what this is saying at 18 cents compared to $1.58, or $20.84 compared to $182. So all I'm saying is, even if we divided it in half and actually met your criteria that you could put 8 on that, the 2 acres, they're still paying far less.
Thank you.
Does that make sense?
I have a question then. Yeah, you said there's 16 other properties in Rocky that would fall under this same subcourt? Is that what I understood, or am I miscalculating?
Well, when we looked at who was sort of not on the water and sewer, there's 61 properties. I didn't go map them out, but basically it's those in McNutt. I think there's some in Old Town that are not on water and sewer, and yeah, so there's throughout the town, there's a couple, but those are the 2 predominant places.
Okay, thank you very much. Anybody else have anything they'd like to add? Councilor Shiffield.
I'm gonna throw the bylaw, or motion on the floor and see where it goes.
Go for it.
So it's gonna be let it resolved that council instruct administration to prepare a subclass bylaw for residential properties that are not serviced with water, sewer, curb and gutter utilities, to the council meeting, in March, and for the, change in assessment to occur in the 2027 tax year.
Thank you. There's a motion on the floor. Does anybody have any discussion? Then I'll call it to a vote. All in favor of the motion? All opposed? The nays have it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Our next is correspondence for action. First one being Parks and Rec elected official workshop. Mr. Crows.
Yep, thank you, Mayor. My computer's slow loading here, so I can't see it, but.
Yeah,
this is
not
just-
mine either, actually.
But it's a course put on by the Recreation Association for elected officials if council wants to partake in it.
Oh, okay, thank you. There we go. Is anyone interested in attending this workshop? When is the dates again, please?
2027?
And February the 18th.
19th.
I was actually gonna sign myself up for this, and I was cleaning up emails the other day.
Good morning, Wes.
Good morning, Mayor and Council. I forward this as, the town is a member of the Alberta Recreation Parks Association, so we get these emails, and every year they host, again, various workshops. This one has come forward, it's specifically geared toward elected officials and sort of a little bit about the direction of recreation as a whole. The first workshop actually happened on the 29th. Apologize for not getting this out sooner. Sometimes when I get these newsletters, it's not always timely, but the next one is coming up on February the 19th. There's no cost as being a member of the association as a town, so just brought it forward. If anybody's interested, it's a free session for council to attend. Generally, when they have their annual conference, we invite any councillors to come along with administration to that. It's a very, very good conference, as multiple sections as well as sessions on for elected officials. With the election happening this last year at the same time as the conference, it didn't allow for that to happen. So I'll go ahead and share this with council if there's anything. There's also a leaders summit that they host later in the spring that often sort of for senior admin and councils as well. It's more inclusive. It's a couple of days, to attend the leaders summit, but there's several opportunities from ARPA to get some training.
Okay, thank you. Well, it looks like, Councillor Musker.
I would like to attend this. I think considering some of the ideas we've been throwing around regarding recreation in the town of Rocky Mountain House and some of our ideas going forward, this would be beneficial. I'd like to make the chambers available for anybody that would want to log in here, because then we can have some discussions together rather than just sitting in our own homes alone, watching the webinar or doing the workshop. So does that require a motion, Mr. Cross?
Yeah, please.
Okay. I move that any counselor that wishes to attend the Recreation and Parks for Elected Officials workshop be allowed to do so and make arrangements with administration to get registered.
Thank you. The motion is on the table. Is there any discussion? Then all in favor? And that is carried. Thank you very much. Thank you, Wes. That is it for action items. The rest is correspondence for information. Councillor Stalker.
Thank you, Mayor Boniface. I'd like to draw council's and the public's attention to the Community Events Committee, and I just wanted to make sure everyone's aware that on February 16th, the Monday 1 till 3 at Curtis Field, there's going to be a Family Day event, and that there's going to be chili cook-off that they'll need judging, so I'm hoping there'll be a great attendance, hot chocolate. There's going to be things for kids to do with skating is available in the arena as well, hopefully, if the weather holds, out on the oval. There's going to be family challenges, and certainly I think it was well attended last year, and we'd like to see the same again this year. And last year, I think it was 25 below or something. So hopefully, folks will put that on their calendar for Monday, the 13th, which is Family Day. And I just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention.
Thank you very much. If there's no other discussions on any of the items, could I have a motion to accept them for information, please?
I'd like to make a motion that we accept all correspondence for information.
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? And that is carried. Thank you very much. Our next is 11.1 action list. Mr. Crows.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. So just going through the open items. So the first one is the ICE policy, and that is coming back to council at March GPC, and meetings are being held with the user groups. The next one is North Saskatchewan River Park. Administration has met with the user groups and will be bringing back a report to council on some potential projects for 2026. And we need to remove stuff from here, it looks like, but oh, actually, that's the only two open ones, so.
Thank you. Any questions arising from the action list? No. Could I get a motion to accept it, please? Councillor Musgrave.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that we accept the action list as presented.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll call it to vote. All in favor? And that is carried. Thank you very much. Administrative inquiries. Do we have any of this today? Councillor Schiffel.
Back to the office. I have a couple. One is about garbage cans. It seems like people have broken hinges on garbage cans, stuff like that. Do we have a replacement policy in that, or do they have to pay for them, or what do they do?
No, they just phone our engineering office and that either it's replaced or repaired.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Subject I brought up a while ago, that was the trail system to the national park. And it seems like the people with the fat tired bikes like riding out there, and they're just saying that there's been no maintenance on that trail system to the park. I know that's in the county. What's the arrangement? We've talked about doing upgrades to that trail system before. I'm not sure where that's at or what's happened there.
Yeah, so that's the bicentennial trail that goes out to the historic site. It is in the county, but we maintain it, but that's at a very minimal. Like, I think we just go through there once a year and move any debris off the path. I wouldn't even call it a trail. But that is also a discussion in part of our ICF that to have a discussion with the county of upgrading that trail and interlinked with other trail systems.
Do you need a motion to put that on the agenda for that meeting, or will it just get there?
If I recall the ICF correctly, it's not even slated for this year, so if you want to move it up, motion would be good.
Okay, if you'd allow me,
Yes,
Mayor, I'll make a motion that, let it resolve that we bring the Centennial Trail system to the ICF meeting. Okay.
Thank you. Any discussion? Councillor Stalker.
Sorry, the motion bring the ITF to the
The Centennial
trail.
Trail,
To what meeting though?
ICF.
Thank you.
ICC, sorry.
ICC. Okay. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call it a vote. All in favor? And that is carried. Thank you very much. Any further?
Just my last item. Do we have a bylaw? Seems like the freeze-thaw cycles, people got water from their neighbor's lot coming onto their properties. And in some cases, it comes onto their property with the dog poop out of their neighbor's backyard. And so, do we have any bylaws regarding what you can do with your stormwater on your lot? My impression is you gotta keep it on your own lot, but do we have anything that we can impose that, or is that just one of those things that it happens and so be it? And
Yes, we have a bylaw. Ms. Rees, do you want to Yeah, no, okay, it just looked like you wanted to speak to it. For, yeah, for log drainage and whatever, and yet you're not supposed to adversely affect your neighbor and so forth. You know, and under the land use bylaw, when a new home is built, the log grading is checked. But after that, when someone does improvements on their lot or whatever, that's, you know, unless it's with something we don't check, but it's on a complaint basis that we can look at it.
And on a complaint basis, what can we do, anything, or we just look at it?
Well, no, it's a site visit. Sorry. It's a site visit, and if a property owner has altered the property where it adversely affects a neighbor, we can work with them. That's the first step, working with them to try to remedy the situation. And it can go as far as enforcement.
And who would those people go to? Would they come here and talk to Tracy?
Planning and development is what
Planning and
it's under the land use bylaw.
Okay, thank you.
Councillor Stalker.
Yes, I had a single, thank you, Mayor Boniface. I had a single inquiry. The snow clearing removal priorities, is there a list that public can refer to and they go, okay, we're doing the main arteries and then,
Yep, so council has a snow removal policy that our engineering and operations department follows, which lists the priorities, which basically start off with in front of schools and hospitals is our first priority, and collector roads and artillery roads, and then moving into residential. The way our crew works is we rotate when we do residential. We will, 1 year we'll start on the north side of town and work our way south. And then the next time we do residential, we'll start on the south and work our way north. And then the following year, we'll start on the south and work our way north, and then keep rotating that way.
that clears it up right there, the north-south business. Thank you.
Anything else? I have a couple. Mr. Kraus, would we be able to invite Jason Nixon, please?
Yes, and I believe we have sent a letter out to Minister Nixon, and I have to get Ms. Breeze on the status of that. But we can also, we'll follow up with that and make sure we invite Minister Nixon out. In my understanding, that's an informal meeting with council and not as a delegation to council.
Yeah.
That's correct. So,
And could we also invite Kate to do a presentation here in council chambers, please?
sure, could I, yep, and I prefer a council resolution on that one, because it's
Yes.
correcting it in, so.
Okay. I'd like to make the resolution then that we invite Kate to come to our chambers and do a presentation. And any questions about the motion on the table? Seeing none, I'll call to a vote. All in favor? And that is carried. Thank you very much. Are there any other administrative inquiries? Seeing none, move on. Notice of motions. Anything? We need to go into closed session, so before we do so, I will call a brief 10-minute recess, and thank you. call for,
Sorry?
Okay, because I've
Oh.
I've received a couple of comments from the.
Yeah, I have too.
Thank you for putting it in.
Yeah, that's the only way it's gonna stop.
I'm just glad it wasn't me.
I'm fine. If that's the least of our problems, we're in great shape.
well, thank you very much. We're back and we need to go into closed session. Could I have a motion to go into closed session, please? Counselor?
I'd like to make a motion that we move into closed session.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
All in favor? And that is carried. Thank you very much. Thank you, we're back. That was a good discussion. Councillor Kane.
I'd like to make a motion to accept CAO dialogue for information.
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, call that to a vote. All in favor? And that is carried. Thank you, and our meeting for today is adjourned. Thank you for coming.